putting a brave front on something that had genuinely shaken them. So I tried my best to keep up the pace. It helped that the last stretch was a slight downhill slope, and we arrived together at the edge of a small clearing. "Over by that fallen log," Josh whispered. Jamie merely pointed. I looked across the clearing and felt the hairs rise on the back of my neck. They weren't pulling some kind of strange prank. There really were two hands poking up out of the half-rotted leaves covering the ground. Only the tips of 3 fingers of the left hand showed, but all 5 fingers of the right protruded, and even a little bit of the back of the hand. The fingers were long and slender, but twisted, contorted, as if their owner had died while reaching out to grab something in panic, or in agony. And they were deadly pale. The nails were, at least, almost silvery. The flesh, though, was a little darker. In fact, it had a bluish-gray tint. Decay? Or was it just a trick of the light? The day was quite cloudy, and the branches of the huge oaks and maples at the edges of the clearing met overhead, so not much light made it in. The boys each inched a little closer, as if having me along made them bolder, and I grabbed one with each hand. "Keep your distance," I said. "We don't know what she died of." "She?" Josh echoed. He took a step back. "Mom's right." Jamie retreated several steps. "Definitely not a man. The fingers are too small." "Could be a kid," Josh suggested. Once I was sure they'd stay put, I pulled out my phone and called 911. "What's wrong now, Meg?" Odd. Debbie Ann, the dispatcher, made it sound as if I'd called her at least once already today. Maybe she was just having a bad morning. "Josh and Jamie found a dead body in the woods behind our house," I said. "I have no idea exactly where we are, but I'll send the boys out to the road. They can lead whoever you send back here. I'll keep watch." The boys nodded and dashed off. I wasn't exactly thrilled at being left alone with those creepy hands, but it was better than having to leave the boys alone with them. "Oh, dear," Debbie Ann said. "Do you know who it is?" Along with her words, I could hear the rattle of keys that meant she was sending out a text message to one of the deputies, or maybe all of the deputies, the more the merrier. "No idea," I said. "All I can see is a pair of hands sticking up out of the ground. So it's not just dead, but dead and buried, only not very competently." "Horrible," she said. "Vern's 5 minutes away, and the chief was already on his way out to Camp Birnam, so he's going to stop by. He might even beat Vern." "The chief's back from his family camping trip, then?" I felt a surge of relief, and then guilt. I hated the idea that on his first day back in town, the chief would have to cope with a dead body, and probably a not very recent one at that. Although I was also glad that he'd be here to handle whatever happened. But wait. "Why was the chief headed out to Camp Birnam?" I asked. "I mean, if you can tell me. I'm not exactly responsible for the place, but..." "But you've been trying to keep them in line." She sighed. "I know. Seth Early called up just now, madder than a wet hen. He thinks that the reenactor folks out there have stolen some of his sheep." I closed my eyes and muttered a few words that I hoped the boys hadn't picked up from me. For that matter, I made sure Debbie Ann couldn't catch them. "I hope someone told the chief that wasn't our idea," I said. "Having a bunch of medieval reenactors camping out in the woods. We only let them set up that wretched camp to please the history department. And if he wants them gone, he's probably already heard about them." Debbie Ann's tone was soothing. "And if he hasn't already heard how hard you've been trying to keep them from causing trouble, I'll tell him myself. FYI, Horace is on his way, too." "Good." I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. My cousin Horace Hollingsworth